Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video, and in this video we are once again back talking about exotics. This morning I was doing some public events, working on grinding my power level up, since that is a great way to get some highlight gear. Of course, completing public events gives you chests, and opening them gives you relevant gear. But you can also get engrams, legendary and exotics. I was fortunate enough to get an exotic engram from mine, and upon decoding it, I got this. The Prospector, an exotic grenade launcher. So, with that being said, figured I'd put together a video showing you guys what it can do, talk about the perk, show you some gameplay, talk about the lore, and everything else like that. So, if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. Also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget there are still 2 giveaways running, 2 Destiny-themed giveaways. First of which is a PS4 Pro, the second of which are 2 Destiny collectible figures. Both of those giveaways are linked down below, so check out the links if you want to enter. However, if we turn our attention to the weapon, first things first, let's talk about how it looks. It is a pretty ornate weapon, looks really, really cool. This is, of course, the default skin, the default appearance for it. I do actually have the ornament because I opened a bright engram this morning and actually got the ornament for this before I got the weapon, which is kind of convenient, kind of sort of preemptive, if you will. But yeah, it is a very ornate design. You, of course, do have the Tex Machina logo down here. It looks very similar to, say, some of the other kind of Tex Machina weapons we've seen before with regards to how the actual weapons are designed. You've got this wooden handle, the wooden kind of like stock to it as well, and we also have all these kind of crazy detailed gold bits all around it. But it is a very cool looking weapon. I do personally prefer the more sort of sci-fi spacey looking weapons, so it's not necessarily what I would choose, but either way it is still pretty sweet. However, if we jump over here for a second, this is the Comstock load. This is the ornament I got this morning. Does make it look a little bit more kind of understated. You basically have this sort of white ivory to replace the wood, and of course everything else is silver. So a little bit less outlandish, but still really cool, and this is of course how I personally use it normally. Now as for the perk, the first thing for this one is Excavation. Hold down R2 to fire grenades, released to detonate all live grenades simultaneously. So this does still function like a normal grenade launcher. If you tap R2, you can fire it out for single explosions as you would with any other grenade launcher. But if you do want to dish out a massive payload, you can hold down R2, fire out all of the grenades, and then when you let go, they explode together, which can deal some pretty devastating damage, provided of course your target doesn't move or of course, you know, like teleport away in the process. The nice thing about this perk as well is that the actual grenade launcher itself has 8 rounds, so when you do hold down fire and you do unload all of those shells or all of those kind of grenades together, then you do actually get quite a lot of explosives. Some of the other grenade launchers have slightly fewer rounds, but this one has a pretty big magazine. On top of that, you also have volatile launch, so this weapon is optimized for an especially explosive payload, greatly increases your blast radius, slightly decreases handling speed, and also slightly decreases your projectile speed. On top of that, you have augmented drum, where you have a heavy high capacity drum, so you greatly increase your magazine size and you greatly decrease your reload speed. We then have full auto trigger system, and this is of course the one that allows you to hold down R2 to simply fire off all the grenades together. You can fire off in full auto. And finally, you have hand-laid stock, so the weapon is optimized for recoil control to increase the stability. Now, as with all the other ones, you can of course infuse it. You do have your ornament slot, and we do have the default mod that came with this one, which is the weapon attack mod. Equip this to a kinetic or exotic weapon to increase its attack value. I haven't got any other power weapon mods yet, so of course I haven't had a chance to swap them out for anything else, but this is basically what the weapon looks like by default. Now before we jump into some gameplay, I'll hold down L2 so you can bring up the lore tab for this one. I will let you guys read it out for yourself if you so wish. Same thing as kind of before. If you want to read it, then just hit pause on the video and you can then scroll through this. But it is pretty cool. I do like how they're having this for all exotic weapons, all exotic armor pieces, and they did also say this will be applicable for raid gear as well, raid gear and weapons. So for those of you guys that do want to find out a little bit more, then you can of course hold this down and look into the backstory. So that is a quick look and of course all the perks. Now I'm just going to leave you guys with a little bit of gameplay. With regards to grenade launchers, I do really like them, but I've said this in the past, I've said this in the beta, I don't really feel like I've properly found a use for them just yet, simply because the way that you fire them, kind of the arcing nature and the fact that some of the shots can, you know, bounce, roll and whatnot, then sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain to use them, say, in boss encounters or other things like that, because you can sometimes miss the mark or the targets can move, you know, during the arcing process, whereas something like a rocket launcher is a lot more direct, a lot easier to just sort of like land your shot. So for things like clearing mobs, it's great. Things like, you know, enemies that are a little bit more predictable, fair enough. But for boss encounters, well, obviously, yes, if you do land all the shots, you can still dish out some decent damage. I personally do prefer to kind of go to things with a little bit more precision, things that I can just generally speaking control a little bit better than, you know, an arcing rolling grenade shots. But either way, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do any of you guys like really like grenade launchers? Are they kind of like your go-to power weapon? Be interested to sort of see how people are, you know, picking different power weapons, especially given that we now have like explosive weapons and of course some of the previous special weapons in these slots. Then there are kind of a lot of things to choose from, so it's a little bit hard to juggle. But either way, that aside, I'm now going to leave you guys a little bit of PvE gameplay, just showing you the weapon in action, just against some enemies, just doing some more patrol stuff. So again, no spoilers in here, it's just literally going to be me running around like different planets, just shooting some enemies with some explosives. So hopefully you enjoy that. If you do, like, be super appreciated. As and when I get more exotics, I'll be sure to show them to you guys. But until then, thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.
Tails tucked. Well done.
Taken!
Filthy creatures. Push them back.
running away.
And my instruments have stopped making such a racket. Thanks to you, I presume.